I was really surprised by how much I liked the original Legend of Zelda. Having just played through the game from start to end recently, it's fascinating to go back to the beginning after putting so many hours into Tears of the Kingdom. And while the games couldn't look any more different on the surface, they're surprisingly very similar in concept. If you're not familiar, the original Legend of Zelda starts you off as Link with no weapons. Granted, you can get a sword in the first area, but after that, you're basically on your own. There's basically no direction. You get a backstory blurb in the intro of the game before pressing start, along with an item list which is pretty neat. Can't say I see that too often. Then you're off to the races. Link could actually go anywhere on the map right from the beginning. Sounds a bit like Breath of the Wild, doesn't it? You'll get plains, mountains, forests, and frozen ice caps. The 8-bit graphics can only convey so much, but it makes things easier to map out mentally, and the changes in color and scenery make for good visual markers. The open area lends to the scale of the game and sense of adventure, but that also means you're going to get frustrated when you're not sure where to go next because it's not so apparent. Because the name of the game is exploration, you'll need to go around and talk to people if you find them, and they'll even offer hints on where to go next. The main goal of the game is for Link to find 8 pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom, and he must use it to rescue Zelda and defeat Ganon. You'll get these from dungeon crawling, and technically because of the game's design, you could get each piece in nearly any order you want, but they do get harder as you go, and you'll definitely need items from other locations in order to progress. When I started playing, I didn't even realize each dungeon had a special item for me to collect, but once I figured it out, it added another layer to my quest. I made it all the way to the end of the game, Death Mountain, where you fight Ganon, and I was just blown away at how big the last dungeon was. The entire map is a skull and there are dozens of rooms. I had keys to open doors, but eventually I ran out, only to realize I ignored a hint from an earlier dungeon about a key that had unlimited uses. So naturally, I had to head back, and it served as a reminder always to pay attention to what the old man says. Just running around all over the world, burning down random trees to find a secret where you can get money, or making statues come alive to get out of the way of the staircases that lead you to secret shops, give off the feeling that this world is so massive, and that behind every nook and cranny, there's something waiting to be discovered. The entire time you're out in the overworld, you'll have the original Zelda theme playing, and I think for any other song I might have gotten sick of hearing it for hours on end, but between this one and the dungeon theme, I can't say I was tired of listening to it, and even continued to hum it after I finished the game. The Zelda series has evolved and moved on from where it started, but it's nice to see the connections and similarities that have remained even after all these years. The gaming landscape is much different now, and because of that, a game where you sink hours into just exploring with no clear, immediate indications of what to do next might put some people off. That and the graphics too. But if you could look past that, and heck, even consult a guide when you need to, you'll find a classic title that still holds up even today. I recommend any Zelda fan play it. No questions asked. It's the original Hyrule Fantasy.